Hey everybody, it's Wednesday night. Welcome to the Wrestling Fan Insight Wednesday Night Chaos, AEW and Dynamite. Talk in space. We're currently broadcasting on Twitter or X space as well. I'm your host today, Carlos, joined by John. How are you doing, John?
Doing great. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I took, we're talking about a little before we started, and if you guys follow me on X, I took a little bit of a just personal, me time day today. Just kind of chilling, deplug off my phone, and just kind of honestly slept, got some good shut eye, listening to my body, listening to my mental health, and being like, it's okay, nothing's wrong, just sometimes. You need that personal space, you need that me time. I'm an only child, so I'm a big proponent of me time. but I'm doing well, man. How are you?
It's been a fun week. And when I say fun, that's kind of in some sarcasm because, uh, it's been pretty overwhelming at work. I've been really busy with a lot of projects. The last few months, I've actually had a very overwhelming one, mainly because it entails the pretty much the heart and soul of our company, where it involves like a good chunk of the fleet, where I've had to study bids, make sure truck specs are right on, and finally made that decision late last week and had to announce it this week. So I'm still learning the ins and outs of being an actual fleet manager for a company. So it has its perks, but it also has its pains.
So what is it like? What does your job entail? Like, do you do all the routes and stuff too, or is that below your pay grade?
So now, as far as the routing, that's all on the territory managers. But for me, I'm supposed to make sure our drivers are staying compliant with DOT regulations. Our trucks are staying properly and in regulation with the DOT guidelines of operations. But I'm also like the safety captain for the company, so
No, they're screwed.
that's what I said. I'm like, well, that's good. I think they're screwed. No, I mean, there's a lot that's opened my eyes to this position. I accept the challenge, and I've always liked challenges at work because I don't feel like there's anything I haven't been able to learn how to do. And it's just one of those things where you keep a good attitude, you practice, you try to stay on task. I can do just about anything. I'm one of those guys that's always preached. The impossible is always I'm possible. Whoops, and I apologize for that. Apparently my computer sounds don't like to silence when we go on there. I'll have to figure that one out down the road here. So
Were you dialing up? Were you just dialing up to AOL? What's going on?
I know there's a way, I just gotta figure it out. So entry level podcaster still after, almost 2 years. Yeah, damn kids.
So do you miss the road, or do you like being in the office?
It's not that I miss the road, I miss the people. I will say that.
The socialization,
Yeah, because there was once a week where I got to spend, once every week I spent away from home, and I got to know I got pretty familiarized with a big chunk of the town that I used to stay in my overnights, and they're good people. Every once in a while, you'll see Cody come on, throw a comment, but you don't see him because he doesn't follow the Streambook or the StreamYard link on Facebook. But yeah, he's the one that comments, "Hi from God's country," or "Hey, Hoppe doesn't come bowl with us anymore. What's up with that?" But I do appreciate those guys actually taking the time to listen to us every once in a while. Big shout out to the good folks down there in Richfield, Utah. So hope you're all doing well, and eventually I will be down there to see y'all once again.
Cool. And that's the thing that I think that's cool. I mean, again, I just knowing your personality, like that's the thing that we don't realize, like how much of an impact, it might just be a route, but like just your personality and just getting to see how much of a positive impact you make on somebody's day. That's something I realized too, like, because with work, I only work 3 days a week now, or whatever, and stuff like that. And so like, and then when customers don't see me for a while, they're like, oh my gosh, I missed you, or, where have you been, and stuff like that. And so it's just kind of neat to, realizing that my job can suck sometimes, but at the same time, like just realizing like, oh man, I'm actually making a difference on these people's lives, and they actually miss seeing me, So it's like it's cool, It's cool. It's just you don't realize the impact you're making on people's lives, It's a neat life is neat that way.
Yeah, it is. And the really cool thing is when you hear from the colleagues that follow your place, they always get all the folks asking how I'm doing and all that. And when you leave a good impression like that, that's it it really does wonders, not like as an ego, but kind of helps your morale in some ways, to know that you've done some good.
For sure. So just to take some things, just to handle house things. We are, we're here live on Twitter, X Space. We are part of the Stage Up Network as well, So want to just give a shout out to everybody there. Want to just really thank right now. We have Christopher in the room with us, also my brother Caribbean Life, and then also Jesse. Thank you guys for listening. So enough with that. Let's get into it. So I thought. Just really quick, we'll go over the Dynamite results, and then we can go from there. If you guys want to talk about what's going on in WWE, on Sunday, we shared our predictions for Crown Jewel. And one thing I want to talk about too with John is just seeing if his predictions changed since the last time we chatted. Also, just talking about night 2 of Halloween Havoc. So we did this on Wednesday just because at first I felt like I wanted to talk more about AEW's product. When we were doing Mondays and Wednesdays for a while. But there was just some Mondays where I found it tough to talk about WWE, to be honest, just because certain old man was in charge again, and the product just wasn't cooking. But I think WWE's really stepped up lately. So again, we like all wrestling. We enjoy all wrestling. I know like Chris, who's in the room right now, he's, watches a lot of Impact like I do, and also watch, MLW. We definitely want to give shout outs to those guys as well. If you guys want to talk about NWA, they just had a show this past weekend where apparently Father Mitchell was doing cocaine on the stage. I don't know. It was kind of crazy times. But are you there?
Yeah, I was just saying, Jesus did.
Yeah, it was crazy. They're talking about him with the girls, like doing there. He's like, oh, he's apparently doing cocaine and drinking on the stage. I was like, good Lord. Only at NWA, baby, in St. Louis. So, but again, so let's just get into Dynamite today. So in the opening match, we had Orange Cassidy defeat Claudio. Again, this was a good match. I thought, again, I was glad again, just being unplugged from my phone today, because I was like, I'm gonna actually just enjoy the show. And again, like when I was kind of just actually enjoying the wrestling, again, I'll say it again, Claudio over Cesaro any day of the week and twice on Sunday. Getting to see what he does as a wrestler, getting to just see him really just get to cook. And I think him and Orange Cassidy just absolutely killed it. And then Wheeler Yuta was at ringside with Claudio, and then he got a little bit involved, and then out came Hook, and then they both kind of got dismissed outside. And then from there, we had Orange Cassidy defeat Claudio. And then after that, Jon Moxley came out and attacked Orange Cassidy. Claudio let him beat up on Orange Cassidy. There was nothing. Then he kind of removed him from that. It would be announced later on that we're getting Moxley versus Orange Cassidy too at Full Gear, which I think will be good. After that, and again, this was kind of cool because again, I wasn't online. So Gates of Agony defeated the Hung Bucks for the Ring of Honor 6-man championships. I definitely think this was the right move. If I watch Ring of Honor when I can on Thursdays, and for myself, I'll be watching it tomorrow because I'm off. And one thing that the Ring of Honor faithful complain about is having champions that are on the show. So I just think having champions that'll be on the show defending those titles every week is a good thing. So I think that was the right decision. And again, if Tony Khan's changing course a little bit, and realizing that they need to just start having more people on Ring of Honor who are actually going to be there, I don't think that's a bad thing. And then from there, we had the interview with Adam Copeland, and then he was interrupted by Christian and his little goons. And then they're about to give him the concerto, and then out came Sting and Darby. They rescued Adam, and then so it was then kind of made official that at Full Gear we'll be getting Sting, Darby Allin, Adam Copeland versus Christian, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. I love the Wayne's World mat move. I think that he did off the rope. I thought that was a really cool thing. And all through the show, again, they had little sprinkles of MJF trying to find a partner. I love when Wardlow came and attacked him and, choked him against the wall and just kind of told him, I'm coming for you, Max. I think that was a really good way to reintroduce Wardlow as a badass. If I have my 2 cents, I think I would have Wardlow defeat MJF, but that's just me. But they'd have to definitely get him hot again because right now he's really cold. Then from there, we had Jericho and Kenny Omega defeating 2.0. And then, after them, and then I guess if you guys haven't seen, what's his name? Mark? Is it Mark? The guy from Aussie Open, Mark Davis. Yeah, Mark Davis. So if you don't watch Rampage, Mark Davis on Friday fought Konosuke, and then from there he was given a spot in the Don Callis family. So now he's part of the Don Callis family. So after the match, Don Callis and the family come down ringside to kind of confront Jericho and Kenny. From there, they announced that Kabushi is gonna be his partner, but also, I guess Sammy Guevara is gonna be back, so there's gonna be a 4-on-3. Then Chris Jericho announces that they have another big partner, and out comes Paul White. Honestly speaking, just being honest about it, I'm not really excited about seeing Paul White in wrestling. But when you see the emotion in his eyes and just seeing how much it meant for him to get that little bit of love from the fans, and just hearing like how much wrestling means to him. And, and I've heard on previous podcasts, him just talking about how, Vince pretty much just told him, I don't have anything for you no more. So again, that's one of those things where I'm happy there's a company like AEW around, because these guys still have something to give to the wrestling business. And I think that, and again, if he comes out for once or twice, a couple times a year, just again, the emotion in his eyes made me want this match. And again, you could just tell he was holding back the tears. And so I just thought that was a really cool thing. So they're going to all be fighting a street fight from Ontario, California in a couple weeks. And then we had Sheeta defeat Willow Nightingale. And then in the main event, it was the Bullet Club Gold versus Max. And he finally took the House of Ass's partnership as far as being his partner. I thought it was really cool when Max came out in the pink and, had the scissors on his tights, and then he had, the MJF scarf was all in pink as well. That really made my night, really made my month, just seeing him accept that. And I was just cracking up, first chance Max Caster gets, he goes for MJF's ass, which I thought was kind of funny. But again, I think we're pretty much seeing the full on face turn of MJF. So I think it's a good thing. But no, I just thought it was a really good episode. And I just think that they're building towards Full Gear a lot. I'm not really happy about the tag team title match, because to me, the perfect story would be after this match would be seeing the Bullet Club Gold facing the House of Ass for the 6-man for the trios tag team titles. So I guess I'll have to wait and see if Tony Khan books them on the show and seeing who their matches is, as far as for me not to be convinced that they shouldn't be the ones facing each other. What did you think of the show, John?
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't catch the first half hour, but it pretty much answered my question, what happened there. So
there you go. That's where we give the rundown.
Yeah. No, for the most part, I thought it was a solid show. Yeah, I wouldn't say it wowed me, but there were some cool spots in there tonight. Thought it was a little interesting to see Sky Blue when we all thought maybe she was going to eventually side with Julia Hart, but ends up spitting the blue mist in her face. So, that one kind of had everybody guessing in some ways what she was going to do based off her actions the last couple of weeks with not only Chris Statlander, but Willow Nightingale. The main event for me, it was all over the place. It was nice to see MJF kind of team with the House of Ass. Sorry, I gotta get water here. It was a little interesting. I would say it didn't work for me, but it doesn't hurt to try different things, I'm really excited, though, to see that we are going to get Moxley and Cassidy too. However, I would say this is going to be probably the time where Moxley joins Orange Cassidy, becoming a 2-time international champion. I just don't know if it was really the best move to put the championship back on Cassidy. It feels like we're just going to have a repeat of what we had beforehand. But yeah, that's all I have for the show.
All right, well, that's been it, guys. We'll see you later. I'm just kidding. Chris Haas, did you do your homework today?
Sage dope, pay a little, get a lot. NVStream702.com, the only place you should ever watch anything. And yes, I did do my homework.
Nice. You get to go to the store. What did you think of the show?
I really enjoyed the main event. There was some hit and miss things before that, but it built to a satisfactory resolution for me. So yeah, I'm overall thumbs up.
Good. So if anyone in the group, if you guys want to talk, just do a mic request. We are on StreamYard, so that's why you might see me on silent, but you're hearing my voice because me and John are on StreamYard. So we're currently simulcasting on X. We're also on Pornhub. No, I'm just kidding about the Pornhub part.
Jesus.
I want to be the number one podcast on Pornhub, damn it.
When John heard trying on Pornhub that look like they do hurt, but that's a different story.
Well, I thought we were keeping that on the down low, but thanks a lot, Carlos. You know, if any of you tuned in on Sunday and listened to Carlos talk about Rhea Ripley's spot for Crown Jewel, you know, I can see why we're on Pornhub now, sick bastard.
What did I say? I forgot. It must have been a good one. What did I say?
It was pretty much to the equivalent of watching Rhea pop out of her top. And I'm just
yeah, because I say not to worry about Raquel doing that. Yeah.
I think all of us just jaw dropped because Willie and we didn't know how to follow up with that. We're just like, oh dear.
You know, I got to give the straight guys something. You know, I got to feed you guys every so often too. You know.
Yeah, but you're supposed to be the gay guy.
I am. But no, so again, just I thought it was really good. I think again, the thing I would like to, so that's my first question for the group, but we can go from there. Is with Jon Moxley and Orange Cassidy too. Do you guys think that they should put the title back on Moxley, or do you think they should just steer course and have Orange Cassidy keep the title?
I'm sticking by my original, and I made this tweet again tonight, that everybody gets a custom belt, and then I'm really sick of trying to figure out when somebody says the title. There is no, I mean, has anybody ever said, you know, I just don't think there's enough belts going around in AEW. I want to make sure that the all permutations and combinations of 1-man, 2-man, 3-man, Ring of Honor, AEW, some other organization that I hadn't even heard of. And then we'll make up our mind whether or not we call it the Mid-Atlantic or International. None of these titles. You get one world title per company. That's it.
So we're gonna Oprah it and be like, you get a championship, you get a championship, you get a championship.
Well, it's very simple.
I think it's already that way.
Belts, just like they never put the Brahma Bull belt on television, but that came after the Steve Austin Smoking Skulls belt. Edge gets his rated R because apparently the WWE didn't think that was worth trademarking for some reason. Belt. The Miz gets his upside down WW belt for the Miz TV belt. Daniel Bryan gets the ecologically friendly table belt. The head of the table belt is obviously Roman Reigns, because why would you have everybody has a universal title for their own universe, but it's every single character that's on the main roster just tours the country and defeats local jobbers, so they never actually lose their belt. Everybody has an undefeated reign with their own gimmick. And then, eventually you could hand off your gimmick. There could be a Nature Boy belt that's given to Ric Flair eventually, but that's really rare for a title change. We're talking one title change per decade, even with everybody getting their own belt.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
So back to the question, Ari. So would you keep it on Moxley, or would you would you keep it Orange Cassidy, or are you gonna have Moxley take it back? You still there?
Yeah, no, I think I've expressed my level of interest in.
So you don't care? They could just drop it in the lake and be done with it.
You get one world championship per company. You get one intercontinental title, secondary title, U.S. title per company. That's it. You get 2 singles champions. You get 1 tag champion. And if we want to differentiate yourself with a trios champion, then that's it. That once you hit the double-digit number of champions, it doesn't make any sense. I'll accept 3 women's champions with a singles and a tag team belt. That's it.
But you would have one international. You'd have one intercontinental champion though, right? Like one mid card championship.
You get 1 world champion. It's on 1 world. I don't know how much clearer to be about this. You want 1 secondary title? That's great. You get 1 secondary title. You want to have a couple of tag team titles? Awesome. You want to have a women's division? I support that as well. But let's give people good long reigns and stop with the do you think they should pull the title change on? If I can't tell you, about how long the Honky Tonk Man made the Intercontinental title relevant for the mid-card people, as he was kind of your mid-card heel champion, while Hogan was your, main event face champion. That's how you structure the show. I don't need any more belts than 2 singles champions, unless you count a women's champion. Then you get 3. That's it.
And so I'm on your side too for as far as this goes. I mean, I don't know what they had planned for Moxley with this title reign, but as they've had to change course, I'm definitely in favor of seeing Orange Cassidy keep this title. He elevated the title. I mean, to me, it's a better title than the TNT title, even though I love what Christian's doing. But I'm in that favor too. Like you had to change course, and let OC keep this title. I don't need to see another title change. Go ahead, Christopher.
Basically, my opinion is that basically you could have Orange Cassidy still hold it, but like I would like to see John Moxley win it back, even though he's my favorite. But like it's hard because man, those 2 are really good in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Their match at All Out was just outstanding. Just man, it's like when you can't choose one, it's hard. So
now to count, I'm gonna ask. So do you, as again, I'm a big Moxley fan too. And so my question for you do you like when Moxley? Do you appreciate the group stuff he does, like when it's the BOC versus like the Elite, or versus or would you rather see Moxley be more of a singles one-on-one type fighting?
I like him being both.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter with me.
And I agree with you too. Like that's something that there were some that used to come on here a lot, Texas, and now I think he might have left X, but like he wouldn't watch AEW because the thing is, and it's not that he didn't love the product, but like he wanted to see Moxley as a single star because he was just tired of seeing him get wasted in these multi-man matches. And for myself, the thing that I would always counter him with was like, but the thing that I love about Moxley and that I appreciate about him is that he doesn't need to always be in the spotlight, and the fact that he was willing to help get the other people over in the group, willing to help get the BCC over as a group, having that group mentality, willing to just fight with the group together. I always thought that was a beautiful thing. But like I'm ready to see him fight as a single star. I don't necessarily think he needs a title. I honestly wouldn't be mad to see him go after John Moxley either. Go after MJF either, and be back in the world title picture. But yeah, I don't know. I guess, and that's something I think that when I first started watching AEW and you would hear Tony Khan and interviews and stuff like that, the one thing that he was always bragging about was the fact that they were giving all their stars like good title reigns. Like you never saw just these quick changes, and now they've changed course with that. And so he's kind of been a hypocrite that way. But I agree with what Chris said too. I want to see Chris Haas. I want to see longer title reigns for these guys. Because I just think it makes the belts matter more. So John, you said you want to see Mox win the title back, or what's your preference? You think that's going to happen, or that's your preference of what you want to see happen?
Well, it's my preference. I mean, the thing of it is Orange Cassidy, yes, he has elevated that championship. However, I mean, how many more people can you really throw at him? It's to a point where I just think it needs a fresh competitor, but I think when they changed to have Ray Phoenix take that championship off Moxley, I don't think they necessarily needed to make that change. I think they could have just found a way to, have Moxley do kind of a quick pin. It's over. Similar to what they had to do with Steve Austin and Owen Hart way back when, only that was a much different circumstance. I just don't know. To me, it's kind of had a little bit of a fuddle with going to Moxley, then to Phoenix, and then back to Orange Cassidy. I think John Moxley could have some different competitors come after him for that championship.
And that's a fair point. Like, again, you're swaying me now, like I swayed you on Sunday. So, I guess, yeah, you're making sense there to me. Yeah, see, who do you see fighting with for John Moxley for the title?
Oh, there's many people that can come for that championship. I would get some people who really haven't had the opportunities yet for a championship that you've been getting on there. I mean, you don't necessarily need Orange Cassidy, but you can throw guys like Chuck, Trent Beretta. You got Daddy Magic, Cool Hand. Those guys are possible contenders. You also got guys like, Wardlow, who's making a comeback. You got Will Hobbs. There's many opportunities out there for everyone.
And just reading a little bit in the chat here, Caribbean Life is also with you guys. I prefer Mox. Both are excellent. Somehow I feel he doesn't get the respect he deserves. Yeah, he has the crowd to some point, but I feel he is underrated. I love him. He reminds me of Austin in the Attitude Era. I definitely agree with that. I mean, again, it's just same like thing I was talking about earlier, Claudio, over Cesaro. For me, the same thing too. Moxley over Dean Ambrose. Even though back in the day, Dean Ambrose, and again, I like Juniors too, but but like he was always my favorite member of the Shield. And again, but it's just different getting to see him cook more, getting to see him actually, getting to see him be himself. Even the promo he gave afterwards. Again, I think this was the main event of All Out. I think this definitely has the opportunity to steal the show again. I'm excited for the match, and so again, I guess we'll see. So again, I guess the cool thing is for me as a fan is I win no matter what, because if Orange Cassidy keeps the title, I'm gonna be excited to see what he does with it. If Moxley, gets it back, I'm excited to see what he does with the reign. I do think Moxley is given the last year to being in multi-man matches, to getting the BCC over, helping to get Wheeler Yuta over, even though I feel like they've wasted his victories. He got, if we all forget, he's the one who pinned Kenny Omega in what was it, Anarchy in the Arena, right?
Yeah.
And then again, they haven't really followed up on that, and that's just something I would love to see more out of the company, is just following up with these guys and not just letting those things like that go to waste. So to question that, so what do you guys think about Hook versus Wheeler Yuta? Are you excited about that at all?
Yeah.
And for me, I feel the same way. Like I love Wheeler Yuta, but I don't want to see him fed the Hook. I think they should be following up with him more too. And that's one of those things where he should be fighting for a singles championship, but they're all being overheard by other people. But yeah, I feel the same way. I don't want to see him fed to Hook for no reason.
Well, the problem is they've dropped the ball on Wheeler Yuta. I feel like he's only had maybe 2 or 3 victories by himself or with the group as a whole. I feel like they've wasted his talent.
Yeah, and then again for me, that's one of those things too where I think Tony Khan needs to realize that he's dropping the ball to a lot of these guys and he's overwhelmed. He looked rested today. That was a good thing. He gave his big announcement. He did. He just got a good perm. But but yeah, I agree. I think and if you guys don't know this, Will, I mean, Will Washington, who came over from Fightful, he's the one doing the whole. He's the one kind of in charge of the Swerve Hangman feud, which I think is really really well. And hopefully, if he does a good job, maybe Tony Khan will just start giving him more responsibility because then we wouldn't see these storylines and see these opportunities being wasted and see some more just connect, just flow with the storylines. Go ahead, Christopher.
I was gonna say the either Yuta Fences Hook match would probably be a little fun match, but like it wouldn't be something special, but it would be something, just there. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, to me, they should be. I mean, and again, Chris, to me, like if you're gonna have the Ring of Honor Pure Championship, they should be fighting over that instead of just the FTW title. But it is what it is. So next on the show, we had the Gates of Agony winning the 6-man titles back from the Hung Bucks. Again, like I was talking about when I was going over the results, I thought this was the right decision. Having champion, but again, to me, I'm also on the other side though. If you're already gonna have the Hung Bucks and Hangman as your champions, then why not just keep the titles on them until you had your pay-per-view next month, and then you had those bigger names on the show. So it kind of makes me think that the Young Bucks just really didn't want to work Ring of Honor. Which again, if that's the case, why put the titles on them in the first place? Did anybody have any thoughts about this match? Are you guys excited to see them? Again, if you guys don't know, I'm a big Brian Cage mark. So seeing my boy with the title again always going to make me happy.
I don't know. I think somewhere, somehow, they'll be involved with 8-man tag somewhere along the lines. I mean, you saw the backstage segment where they had a little fit with Chris Jericho being in their locker room. And that's some good storytelling too, bringing up the history of what Jericho did to the Bucks and their fathers. So it's going to be interesting. I think it actually was the right move. I don't think it necessarily needed to wait till the pay-per-view. But again, my biggest gripe, and I think Ted the Hillbilly Hill also mentioned this many a times, we really need to keep those Ring of Honor titles off AEW. I really think Ring of Honor needs to be its own brand.
And I agree. And again, it's just it's colluding the waters, or what you're saying. But yeah, I agree. Christopher, what were your thoughts about it?
I was happy that the Mogul MSC, known as the Gates of Agony, winning it. I thought it was a good match. You know what I'm saying? And the thing with John, I mean, I think people need to give some credit when they do the pay-per-views with Ring of Honor. I mean, the pay-per-views are good, but their weekly show is all right. It could be better. But that's just my opinion on Ring of Honor. But that's all I have to say. But I was happy with the Mogul MSC winning.
Cool. And then from there, we had Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega defeating 2.0. And then, of course, we see, like we're talking about earlier, Mark Davis is now part of the Don Callis family. So I guess I have two questions. And then, it comes out that Paul White is going to be joining them. Of course, I shared already that I thought it was kind of cool just seeing the emotion in Paul White's eyes that he's getting this opportunity. Again, as long as he's not holding titles, I think that's a good thing. I mean, and of course, he should be doing the favors to. So before I do that, so the other question is, so before let's get into that, I forgot because I want to backtrack really quick. Who do you guys, if we're getting an 8-man tag with the Gates of Agony and with the Mole Embassy against the Hung Bucks, and if Kenny Omega is busy with Chris Jericho, who do you guys think will be the Hung Bucks partner against the Gates of Agony? Anybody? Keith Lee, maybe?
Yeah, okay, remind me of the scenario again. Did you say Hangman's tied up with Swerve?
Well, no, because Kenny Omega's tied up with Chris Jericho, right? And all that. So if we're gonna be seeing Swerve and the whole Gates of Agony, so you got Swerve, Brian Cage, and then the Gates of Agony. Noah, and then we got Khan versus Hangman Page and the Hug Bucks. Who's going to be their partner?
Yeah. Brandon. No, just kidding.
CM Punk.
No, fuck. Let's not start that tonight, please. I've had enough headaches today. That's a good question. I really don't know who would really be the one that would step up.
Oh, it's going to be Era Fox. I already know that. Never mind. That's probably going to be probably who's going to be Era Fox.
Well, shit, you might as well just say Danhausen while you're at it too. Yeah.
That's how they introduce them.
Well, I mean, let's explore the opportunities. I mean, I don't really have anybody in mind, but who is associated most with the Elite outside of Kenny Omega?
Well, I mean, there's been so many different storylines to go. I mean, I don't know because Coda's over with Kenny, so I don't know who it would be. I mean, Cole Cabana.
Someone's, but also I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's whatever.
I mean, the reality of it is it's against Ring of Honor guys, so I don't really think they're going to need some huge name to beat. I mean, to go over on them. If I'm being honest, it is what it is.
Bring on Dalton Castle.
Why not? You know,
or Silas Young. He hasn't been doing anything for a while. Let's get him on there.
Oh no, they make him a jobber on Ring of Honor, which makes me really upset about.
Yeah,
don't even go there.
That's pretty obnoxious.
I feel like that's the thing with me about honestly with the Ring of Honor product that kind of irritates me is I feel like it's like when Vince bought WCW, like he had to show that his product, which again, you already won the war, but he had to show like over and over again that WWE was far superior to WCW instead of utilizing the wrestlers right and getting more bang for his buck. And I feel like that's what Tony Khan has to do with Ring of Honor. He's kind of has to show that that his vision of Ring of Honor is better than the original one. He's using all these guys that could be doing so much more just as jobbers, you know, even like Red Titus, you know, he just, you know, when he fought Samoa Joe, like that was the most offensive I've seen him get in a AEW match yet. And he still was used as an enhancement talent to Samoa Joe this past Saturday. So back to the question. So now back to Jared. Are you guys excited to see Paul White there? And then do you guys think that he should be doing the favors to Powerhouse Hobbs? Or what do you guys overall think of this feud altogether?
Well, Christopher's. I don't know. I could almost see a possible scenario. Maybe Paul White turns on the team, but who knows? I mean, I think that would make it more interesting to see Paul White added to the Don Callis family, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. We haven't really seen him wrestle other than maybe twice.
He's fought 4 times. So he fought QT Marshall the one time on was it actually on the pay-per-view or was it the buy-in? It was the pay-per-view, huh?
I think it was the
pay-per-view.
Yeah,
it was the pay-per-view, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the buy-in.
I think it was the pay-per-view.
Because wasn't QT like attacking Shivani's kid or something, and then Paul White came in to save the day?
But I actually do think it was the pay-per-view.
It might have been.
Because I think that was not the same pay-per-view when Kenny and all those guys came back. Like, or not when Kenny, but when Bryan Danielson and all them debuted and Adam Cole.
No,
I think it might have been the same thing.
I actually think it was before that.
Okay. Go ahead, Christopher.
I think it was before the main event between Kenny Omega and Christian.
Yeah, so it was, but it was All Out, right? It was All Out 2021, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. See, well, it was. He's right. Yeah. See, it was on the pay-per-view. But yeah, so I mean, to me, I would have been I think they should have used him as Captain Insano. I think right there would have been the better thing for him. Like I don't know why he didn't ever do anything with the Acclaim when they had him in the music video, or he's even been on. He's was even with MJF and Adam Cole in the water. I just think coming as the Captain Insano character would have been more funnier and would have got more of the crowd, because as we saw with Christopher's emoji, not most people are excited. Like, again, as a wrestling fan, I know the story. I know what he's done for the business, and hearing, how pretty much Vince McMahon told him, you're done, and you don't have nothing more for you. Again, I'm glad that he has AEW as a home. I wish, WWE would have made a position for him, just like they would have done for Mark Henry. But again, I think AEW is stronger to have those guys in their wheelhouse. But again, I if it's just a one-off thing, I'm okay with that. Go ahead, Christopher.
It's just that Paul White makes me fall asleep. I'm sorry. That's why I was putting my thumbs down. But
Gotcha.
I don't know if they could have.
It's a recorded space. Yeah, should I tell the
when he comes knocking on your door next week, you don't know why, because he heard what you said. No, just kidding.
I just wish there was a forbidden door with WWE, with AEW, and all promotions, but it is what it is. So
one day there will be. I have a feeling they will be.
It'd be more creative, Nasty Leroy. It would be more creative, in my opinion. It would be more creative. They could have something else with that predicament instead of Paul White, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I feel you.
How are you, Nasty Leroy?
I'm good.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm glad to be joining you. I came in and I was like, oh, it's not working, so let me go out. I was like, fucking spaces. Maybe I was like, it's my phone or something. I think it was my phone or the spaces. But anyway, I just have to say this because I just cannot wait. I know y'all talking about AEW and other stuff, but I had to play that Ludacris song. If you tired, quiet, go to sleep, because that's what MJF was doing. Go to sleep. So anyway, I was playing that. So he was knocked out on the match, looking at the lights. So it's not used to doing that shit. Fantastic episode. It was a fantastic episode, but I only saw like half of it, but I didn't see the first part of it. But what I did see, and I go back and look at, Wardlow told him, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna take everything from you," and I ain't gonna say that he's just motivated off just natural anger and pissed offness. He might have talked to somebody, and had, maybe had an advisor, and got him motivated to whoop that rat bastard himself, MJF. So I'm just saying.
We've already broken out the rat bastard.
You already knew it was coming. Come on.
I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when it was going to be coming. That's what she said.
Yeah. Yep, that's what she definitely said.
There you go.
Right, so let's go ahead.
It was good. I was just gonna say it was good.
Because I want to talk more about MJF in a second, so we'll get there. So before we get there, though, let's talk about the women's match. So I missed this. I was making dinner, but making sure I ate before we did this space. So I figured Shida was going to beat Willow. I mean, honestly, for me with this match, I just wasn't very interested in this match. And again, this is like the one thing. So you guys are joining us. The way I kind of look at wrestling sometimes is did it make me want to put my phone down and watch it? Or do I want to just sit there and be on X the whole time when I'm watching wrestling? And that's why sometimes I don't really complain a lot about product, because honestly, I multitask. And so if I'm not interested in a match, I'm just on X, retweeting or answering back to people's comments and things like that. But I honestly, I just wasn't interested in this because, seeing after Willow just lost the thing, she lost a match to qualify for a title match, and now she's getting a title match. It just didn't really make any sense to me. But for you guys who saw it, how was the match? John, you said you liked the match?
Yeah, I thought it was well done, really.
And so what happened? Like, so Sky Blue came out and spit, and then so I didn't get to see it. So just if you want to explain what happened, then I can answer from there, I guess.
Well, I would say it was really a back and forth kind of match. But I would say the takeaway that I like from the whole match is not even the match itself, it's like after the match, right? It was like they Sheeta shook hands with Willow, and so Tony Storm came out, and the facial expressions. This is why I like that she doesn't doesn't need to talk that much, because her facial expressions show it a lot, like her body language and stuff, like shows it. She can talk, but like she doesn't really need to talk that much. But like as soon as that music hit, she was like, "Oh my god, bruh, come on, man!" Like her face was like, "Come on, man, you really gonna do this shit?" Like it's like. But so it's just like it's one of those things. But no, it was a good ass match. Willow was a good competitor and shit. So, even that she could I was gonna say something else, but I don't think I need to say nothing after, it was Scott Blue comment. We're not gonna go into that.
What, spanking her ass or something? How was her ass looking tonight, Leroy?
I'm one of the people that ain't talking about her ass. I was just gonna talk about like fucking her darker gimmick though, but I'm not even gonna go into it. I like the darker gimmick. I like the more darker side. Or that's why I would say it was basically about her. What she's mixed with, but because she just seems like she's mixed with something else other than Caucasian.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Christopher.
I thought the match was a little bit fun, a little fun match. Willow. I like Willow. She's pretty good. I'm a big fan of her. A lot of like how the crowd claps and stuff for her and stuff like that. And the thing is, the after match, to me, I was like, how does it make sense that Sky Blue spits the miss on Julie Hart? She should have joined Julie Hart. How does that make sense of her having black eye with black stuff looking like Julie Hart? Make it make sense. Be like Impact. Be like MLW for once, AEW.
You mean long-term storytelling? And the
Yeah.
storytelling makes sense? Yeah, I feel you. I get it. I think it's like they trying to see that to them this is like long-term storytelling, but you already been telling the story, and you just should have turned them on Willow, and and Chris Statlander probably came out or some shit like that. Like
yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is, as they say.
And to counter what you just said, that's something about me that takes me out of this thing too, because
yelling, Carlos, and criticize.
Oh no, don't. Here's the thing, man, and this is what I want. And anyone who ever listens to our space or comes into the space, that thing I want you guys to realize is like we appreciate your passion, and like just for me, like hearing you get excited, like giving MLW, giving Impact Wrestling their flowers, like that's again, like people want to make crap on this product because they don't have a big TV stage, just because they don't have the big budget, they don't have the money backers that AEW or WWE has. But they need to be appreciated for the fact that they do good storytelling and they work with what they do. Like one thing I love about Impact Wrestling is that they literally utilize their whole roster and they do good storytelling. So no, please, never apologize for being a wrestling fan. I mean, again, and that's my thing too, is every wrestling company deserves to have their fans. And I appreciate that's the thing I appreciate about you is you're a well-rounded wrestling fan. So no, there's no apologies needed, man. Thank you.
All right.
Exactly.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
No, appreciate you too, man. I mean, that's again, they're lucky to have you as a fan. And again, that's even like why I love our fans from overseas. Like they're simple, like honest, just love of the pro wrestling business. It reminds me of being a kid and being a fan. Like and it's a beautiful thing, even when I went to SmackDown, it wasn't so much about the show for me. It was like seeing the little kids dancing, seeing the little kids having fun and everything else. It was just getting excited to just see their fandom and remind me of why I fell in love with the wrestling business. So we appreciate your fandom. Really, just so you guys know, because we're currently doing this we're live on YouTube, and we're live as well on just YouTube and all the other like things we do. So in about 10 minutes, if someone's talking, we might be muting everyone just because we're going to say goodbye on that feed, but we're going to continue on X. We're going to continue the space. So if there's like a little awkwardness, we're going to just say a quick goodbye in about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll continue on with the space. So really quick, the main event. So we saw Bullet Club Gold defeat MJF and the House of Ass. And again, like Leroy was, celebrating about, we saw MJF take the pin in this match. So again, my question to the room is, what did you guys think of this match? My big question as far as this goes is, if we're seeing MJF take the pin here, why not just have him take the pin and have him lose the Ring of Honor tag team titles already, or have him losing them before this? And then another question about this too is, who do you think his partner is going to be at the Full Gear 0 Hour? And do you see him retaining or losing the titles? Whoever wants to go first, go ahead.
I'm going with David Finlay.
You want that Bullet Club over here separately? Huh?
I'm still sticking to it. David Finlay will be his tag partner and will beat up Jay White. But not only are they going to lose the I think David Finlay will beat up Jay White, but I don't think he'll beat MJF's partner. Let me calm that down. I think he'll be the partner, but then he'll focus on beating up Jay White. And I think Jay White will win the World Championship, the AEW World Championship. And and then Max will be on his back yet again. But he'll recover. I feel that he'll retain it. Like he'll do some kind of way of retaining it, and the Guns will lose it or whatever. But I have a feeling that the Guns will win it. But that's just like both sides of the coin, I would say. But yeah, Jay White being your new AEW World Champion. And this is not out of a spite of like my hatred for MJF. I don't hate nobody, even that what happened between me and him. But I just think that's just a logical thing. I'd like to see Jay White as the champion. If not, it is what it is. I'm not like praying for this man's downfall or whatever because I'm not a hater like that. So, but I just like seeing rap battles get laid out. This is what it is. This is what it is, and nobody can tell me different. So, if you do, I just won't be listening. So, other than that, like the song says, look, Ludacris says if you're tired and quiet, go to sleep. So he about to go to sleep again.
So just so to recap, you think it's going to be David Finlay, and you think he's going to lose the Ring of Honor tag titles and the AEW title all the same day?
Yeah, I think so, but I feel like Tony's going to keep the title for him so Wardlow can go after it. I secretly think that I'm giving you two sides of it. My personal take of I think he's gonna lose it to Jay White, but then there's also the wrestling take that I think of Booker wise. All right, I'm building Wardlow back up. Why would I not have him take the title off of him? So I think Tony's smart in that sense, and everybody that works back there is okay, we don't do good booking all the time, but we gonna fucking have Wardlow take the championship. Because, he was kind of fucked at a situation when MJF wanted to be a fucking, he wanted to show his fucking age and be a fucking diva, and good, I want some more money. And then Wardlow's kind of fucked, so now he just has to, and then MJF was good for laying down for him, but it didn't mean shit because you fucked up the whole storyline now. You didn't kind of he was building up as a badass, but you kind of fucked up the whole story of him being his badass. And he took my favorite song away. That other Wardlow song, this current Wardlow song, I don't like. It's trash. It's garbage, okay? I need that heavy metal song. It fits Wardlow, especially this Wardlow. It's more meaner. It's the scene, the Wardlow, and then the heavy metal song. I just need that song. The Symphony of War, I think I'm pretty sure it's called that because I listened to it on my playlist, but yeah. Colin Young came up with it, and it's really nice. So good metal artist. So yeah.
And so, what about? Would you think maybe Wardlow will be his tag partner to protect him, and then Wardlow gets him in New York?
I don't think he's gonna be his tag partner. I think if they would do anything, you get David Finlay to be his tag partner, and then they lose the championship. Then David Finlay comes out with him and walks out with him, and beats the shit out of fucking, or no, he even just comes out with him. Like they come out at the tag entrance, and he comes out. He has a mask, and he pulls it off, and it's David Finlay, and he's just like, and the Guns is like, what the fuck? And then that happens, and they had the match. Then Jay White comes out, says, I know it's David Finlay. You kicked me out of the Bullet Club, the whole promo or whatever. Then MJF can come out and get some hands on him, put some hands on him, and do what he does. I don't know how rats fight, but yeah. Did they do that? He does his real Rat Bastard fighting style, MJF does. And then fucking Jay White finds a way to cheats and get the title away from him. I mean, that's how I see it. But also I can see it that Jay White can fucking try to hit him with the belt and do some cheating stuff as his own and not win the championship, and MJF finds a way to retain it. It's both sides of the story though, so I can both see it though. So
And that's my question for the room too, and if anyone wants to answer this too, is if, let's say, to me it would make the perfect heel move to me would be you have Bullet Club Gold, you would have the Guns weaken MJF during the tag match. I mean, to me, they shouldn't even be going after the tag titles, because if you're going to be true heels, they should be just trying to soften up MJF for Jay White. But if so, my question for you is if they do that, or let's say that they having the match, having to have MJF fight twice in one night. If Jay White wins, does that cheapen him as a champion, or is it just normal heel tactics?
It just makes him strong as a heel.
All right. Anyone else have an opinion? Go ahead, Christopher.
Okay, go ahead.
Basically, I think that Jay White probably will hold it till till the pay-per-view at Full Gear, and they might do it that way. But in my opinion, he should give it back to MJF on the final Dynamite to Full Gear. But we'll see how this goes. But I think Jay White has been doing the best work in his career right now in AEW. But that's just my opinion. I like the Bang Bang Gang, but that's just my opinion. I love that faction.
And then who do you think will be MJF's partner for the tag match?
Man, I could be way wrong, but probably one of the Kingdom. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Sounds like maybe Roderick Strong. Go ahead, Chris Haas.
Oh, I was going to say give it to one of the Acclaimed as tag
like
partner.
Max Caster.
Yeah, Max Caster would make sense. Either one of the Acclaimed ahead of Billy Gunn of the Trios champions. Just go ahead.
Leroy doesn't like that, apparently.
Okay, that's fine.
I want to piggyback off what Leroy said. Even though he's not hot right now, I think the natural storyline progression would be to have Wardlow defeat MJF. I mean, he's the one who defeated him in the first place for the, back at the pay-per-view before MJF went on his hiatus. I personally want to see Wardlow win the title. That's just my own personal, I guess the thing that I want to see. Again, I think to me it would just make sense, but they'd have to really cook Wardlow up for that to happen. But that's personally what I want to see. Did anyone else have anything else to talk about AEW before we move on?
I do.
Hold on, just really quickly, right? I'm gonna say goodbye. So we're gonna be concluding our thing on YouTube. So I just want to say goodbye to everybody else. John's gonna be doing that, saying goodbye to that, and I'm gonna be continuing on the space. So I will talk to you guys on YouTube later, and let's continue the space. Go ahead, Leroy.
All right, y'all. Y'all on a YouTube thing. Saying that
We are now, but we're off of it. Yeah. Go ahead. You can go.
But I will say this.